King David and King Hiram of Tyre were two influential rulers of the ancient Near East who lived during the 10th century BCE. King David is one of the most well-known figures in biblical history, credited with uniting the tribes of Israel and establishing Jerusalem as its capital. He was a warrior king who successfully expanded Israel's territory, defeating powerful enemies such as the Philistines, Moabites, and Ammonites. His reign marked the transition from a loose tribal confederation to a centralized monarchy, setting the stage for Israel's golden age under his son, Solomon. King Hiram of Tyre was the ruler of one of the most prosperous Phoenician city-states. Tyre was a wealthy maritime power known for its extensive trade networks, skilled artisans, and advanced shipbuilding. The city played a significant role in the economic and political landscape of the Eastern Mediterranean. Unlike Israel, which relied primarily on agriculture and military expansion, Tyre's strength came from its naval dominance and merchant economy. Hiram ruled for several decades and is historically recognized for his role in fostering trade and diplomacy with neighboring states, particularly Israel. The alliance between David and Hiram was significant because it united two powerful but distinct entities. While Israel was expanding territorially and politically, Tyre was an established economic powerhouse. Their partnership was mutually beneficial, leading to increased trade, diplomatic stability, and significant construction projects. Hiram's contributions, particularly in the construction of David's palace and later Solomon's temple, played a crucial role in Israel's development. Understanding their alliance provides insight into the interplay between politics, trade, and religion in the ancient world. King David and King Hiram formalized a partnership that was mutually beneficial, strengthening the political standing of both nations. David, having successfully secured Israel's borders and consolidated his rule, sought to establish diplomatic relations with neighboring states. Tyre, as a dominant Phoenician city-state, was an attractive ally. Hiram, recognizing David's growing power and influence, sought to establish friendly relations with Israel to ensure the safety of Tyrian trade routes and maintain access to valuable inland markets. Their alliance was one of diplomacy rather than conquest. Unlike other neighboring states, Tyre was not an enemy of Israel, nor was it subject to its military campaigns. Instead, the relationship between the two rulers was built on mutual respect and shared economic interests. Their treaty created an atmosphere of peace and diplomatic cooperation, ensuring that Israel's northern border remained secure while Tyre benefited from an expanding regional market. Some historians suggest that Hiram may have had an additional strategic interest in countering the Philistines, who were a major maritime power at the time. If the Philistines controlled the coast, Tyre's dominance over Mediterranean trade could have been challenged. By aligning with Israel, Hiram ensured that a strong land-based ally would help keep Philistine influence in check. Although no direct evidence confirms this motivation, the geopolitical landscape suggests that a shared interest in reducing Philistine power could have played a role in their cooperation. Politically, the alliance between David and Hiram set a precedent for future relations between Israel and Phoenicia. Their friendship was passed down to David's son Solomon, who continued the partnership and deepened the economic and political ties between the two nations. This period of stability allowed Israel to focus on internal development rather than external conflicts, strengthening its monarchy and central administration. One of the greatest benefits of the David-Hiram alliance was the expansion of economic cooperation. Tyre was a commercial hub of the Mediterranean world, known for its vast trade networks that stretched from Egypt to Mesopotamia and as far west as Spain. In contrast, Israel was primarily an agrarian society with a growing need for urban development. The partnership between these two kingdoms facilitated a mutually beneficial exchange of goods and resources. David's victories over Syria and other neighboring regions opened overland trade routes that connected Israel to key commercial centers. This allowed Tyrian merchants to transport goods more efficiently and increase the flow of wealth into both nations. Tyre's advanced shipbuilding capabilities also made it possible to expand maritime trade, bringing luxury items such as fine textiles, spices, and metals into Israel. One of the most valuable resources that Tyre provided was timber, particularly the cedars of Lebanon. These tall, strong trees were highly prized in the ancient world for their durability and pleasant aroma, making them ideal for construction. Because Israel lacked significant forests, Hiram's ability to supply high-quality timber was a crucial factor in its architectural advancements. Tyre also supplied skilled laborers, including carpenters, stonecutters, and metalworkers, who played an essential role in Israel's building projects. The Phoenicians were renowned for their expertise in construction and craftsmanship, and their influence helped shape the development of Israelite architecture. Additionally, Tyrian ships traveled across the Mediterranean, engaging in commerce with powerful civilizations such as Egypt, Greece, and Assyria. Through their alliance with Tyre, Israel gained indirect access to these trade networks, allowing its economy to benefit from the influx of foreign goods and cultural exchanges. One of the most tangible ways King Hiram influenced David's kingdom was by providing materials and labor for monumental construction projects. Shortly after David established Jerusalem as his capital, he sought to build a grand palace that would reflect the strength and stability of his rule. Hiram sent cedar wood, craftsmen, and stonemasons to assist in its construction, demonstrating the depth of their alliance. The construction of David's palace symbolized Israel's transition from a tribal confederation to a centralized kingdom. The use of imported materials and foreign labor signified that Israel was now engaging with the broader ancient Near Eastern world. The involvement of Phoenician builders also introduced new architectural techniques and design elements, which likely influenced later structures in Jerusalem. David's ambitions extended beyond his own palace. Although he was not permitted to build the temple himself, he made extensive preparations for its construction. This included gathering materials such as stone, wood, and precious metals, much of which was likely obtained through his alliance with Hiram. These resources would later be used by Solomon to construct the first temple, further cementing the long-term impact of the David-Hiram partnership. The alliance between David and Hiram also facilitated religious and cultural exchanges between their respective nations. While Israel was monotheistic, worshiping Yahweh, the Phoenicians were polytheistic, venerating deities such as Baal and Melkart. Despite these differences, there is evidence that the two cultures influenced one another. For instance, the construction of the temple under Solomon incorporated many Phoenician elements, including its architectural style and the involvement of Tyrian artisans. These cultural exchanges extended beyond architecture, as Israel and Tyre likely shared artistic motifs, writing techniques, and administrative practices. Although there is no evidence that David adopted Phoenician religious practices, the cooperation between the two nations suggests a degree of mutual respect for each other's traditions. The fact that Hiram later praised Israel's God when Solomon took the throne implies that he recognized the religious significance of their alliance. King Hiram of Tyre played a crucial role in shaping the kingdom of Israel during David's reign. Through their political alliance, David secured peace on his northern border, while Hiram strengthened his economic position by expanding trade routes. Their cooperation facilitated the development of Israel's infrastructure, particularly through the construction of David's palace and the later preparations for Solomon's temple. Beyond political and economic benefits, the partnership also contributed to cultural exchanges, influencing Israelite architecture and craftsmanship. The long-lasting impact of their alliance was evident in Solomon's reign, as Hiram continued to support Israel's growth. Their relationship stands as a historical example of diplomacy, trade, and mutual cooperation in the ancient world. It also serves as a valuable reminder for Christians today that fostering diplomacy and mutual respect toward those with differing beliefs can lead to meaningful dialogue and shared benefits, rather than seeking to impose religious convictions by force.